Welcome to this course, Basic Manufacturing Process Unit 4 and Lecture 83, the production of the metal powder. In this video is the detail the present in the very detail in of the production of the powder of the metals. The some of the points in the required for the is this video, the production of the metal powder. This operation is required for automation and chemical composition of the powder, chemical reaction of the electrolysis techniques, and agglomeration of process, the centering operation, and the secondary operation of the application of the powder metallurgy. And this is the ways of the powder metallurgy and the plastics in the plastic. The chemical composition of methods is the required for the powder in the mechanical constitution methods such as the milling, lathe turning, and chiefing comprise the second the secondary powder manufacturing group. This is the other method is application of the making for the powder. Ferrous and non-ferrous metals is the required for the chemical composition methods is required for the milling, lathe turning, and the chipping of the process of the secondary powder manufacturing group. Such the method are used to the produce hard and brittle powder. In this operation is the achieved for the hard and brittle of the powder, such that is used for the allowing element blending to the work hardening and the oxidizing of the powder. The powder is the check testing for the powder is in very loosely, and then after adding for the other element the make for the strong density and strong very hardness of the properties and electrical mechanical properties is the very consisting in the making for the powder. Ball of the hammer, this is other required for the operation in making for the powder. Ball hammers vibratory operation and automation and the tubular mills and some of the other commercial available for the constitution of the devices is required for the making for powder metallurgy. These operations during the milling forces act on the feed of metals for the modify the resulting of the particle achieved for the powder is the nanoparticle and the micro levels of the particles in the fine on the achieved for the very naturally powder is the application of the operation and impact attention for shear and compression. All the influences of powder particles size and shape of the operation. Laser turning is the techniques used for the materials such as the magnetization and the creating for the occurs the particles from the billets is required in the application of the particles of the metal. This is the composition of the other element, adding for element in the ferrous and non-ferrous metals is the and the powder. Chemical methods. The chemical methods constitute the final manufacturing groups required for the included the production of the metal powder, by which the reaction is the metallic oxide and participation for the solution and hydrometrically the thermal of the decomposition of the carbonylic acid in the required for the powder. The material used for the subsequently oxide reduction in iron or the magnetic means skills and the metallic material oxidizing for the oxide reduction in the material. The sum of the chemical reaction is the very powerful required for the heat of the this tube for the spray the passes through the for the cycling at the 1200 degrees Celsius of temperature required for the chemical reaction making for the powder. Ferrous and non-ferrous metals is the mixing for the decomposes of the producing and the reducing the atmosphere reduce the atmospheric inside of the tube is the required for the magnetic or the converted into the ferric metallic of the Fe. The chemical methods, the means of the scale for oxidizing metallic products are the analytic to the reduce worth of the oxygen and carbon contents is required for the for the materials. AFE, ferric oxide in Fe2O3, of is the Fe3O4 is the reduce in the procedure for the reducing of the atmosphere is the in this operation. The, in addition to the carbon within the particle is removed by for the formation of the carbon oxide and carbon dioxide. This and the hydrometallurgical manufacturing and thermal decomposition comprise for the alternative chemicals methods is required for the making for the powder metallurgy in this operation. This is the holes of the in the collecting to the balls in the inert of the particle. This is the particle of the metal and non-metal particles is required for the materials is the balls. This is the rotating form of the balls is the driving of the roller. This is the rotating for the balls and the with the help of the two roller part of this is the in clockwise direction. This both are the rolls. This is the rotating for the anti-clockwise direction. The rolling of the particle is reducing for the job of the mixing of the schematic. This is the particle is also rotating and this is the apply in the force of the this particle is also breaking to the small particles. The electrolytic or the decomposition. This is a process. This is the operation in the required for the chemical reaction by required for the chemical reaction is the making for the powder. The electrolysis decomposition involved for the participation of the metallic element at the cathode and the electrolysis. This is the AC power. This is required for the DC powers of the this is the chambers. This is the operation of the chambers. This is the bar. This is the electrolysis of the plates. This is electrolysis of the plates, and required for the this is other operation is the negative cathode rays or required for the cathode, and this is the anode rays of the required for the anode. This is the power source. This is the power source. This is the positive. This is the power supply for anode and this is the power supply for cathode. This is the both are this is the chemical reaction in the bath in the both of the electrolysis example is phosphorus reactions. This is the Fe in in the this is the Fe is the removal from the Fe plus 2 charge in the this release for the release and addition of the charge of the particles the Cu plus 2. The copper this is the in this operation is the making for the electrolysis cells operation in the decomposition of the powder schematic. The most common application in the side of the production of the powder metallurgy. The mixing of the powder this in this operation in the addition of the extra the addition of the extra element in mixing in the powder. The purpose of the mixing is the provided the homogeneous mixture is the incorporated for the lubricating powder of the some chemistry for the possible different particle size and intimization so as to reduce the porosity of the reduce to the porosity required for the mixing of electrolysis. The mixing is done in the shrinking or rotating the container called for the murder. Some the lubrication that are the commonly used for the stearing acid. The mixing and lubricating and the commonly used for the stearing acid, the stream, metallic stream, and especially zinc stated for the increasing and other organic compound of the works of the nature. And this operation is required for required for the required for the other component mixing in the way of the powder over the mixing of occurs in the should be the avoided to in the operation. This increase the apparent of density of the mixer density of the powder mixer in the over mixing also the further reduced or the green strength of the of subsequent compact on the probability of by the completely coating of the by completely coating of the metal particles in the and the green strength of or the surface of the particle is very stronger and the this is the checking for the all the proper the chemical reactions and the oxidization of the all the properties in the testing for the powder. The fun of the waiting for the compacting. The chemical is the critical operation is the powder metallurgy process since for the final shape and mechanical properties is essentially further determined in this stage. The level the level and the uniformity of the as prayer for the density determine the particles of shape if the if the part or the process or process to the provide a highly density to the physical properties will be similar to the similar and homogeneous of the metal particle metal and non-metal particle and the powder of the powder this is the casting of the throat iron of the product. Lower density will be resulting in the lower physical properties in this die compacting the mixing the powder are passes to the safe in the grade steel of the carbide die under the pressure of the 150 to the 150 to the 900 megapascal required for the pressure in this operation of the powder particle in the collection farm. Thank you so much.